Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, don't do unboxings, don't do any live playthroughs. Well, maybe we will in the near future, but today we are going to be talking about a chariot racing game. We're going to be talking about the intelligently named Charioteer, Race for Glory in ancient Rome, and in this game you will be taking your horse and car out onto a circus. You'll be racing around a track open to come in first that will hopefully allow you to win the game and not get killed. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules, telling you what we do like, what we don't like, then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Charioteer is worth your time and bother today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel with the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. We'll see you after this. Bollocks. So, Charioteer, how do you play this game? So, Charioteer is a very, very simple chariot racing game that uses cards to instigate movement. You're going to put the two boards together in the centre of the table, and they're two boards that don't sort of lock together. You just have to place them side by side, and I'm not really a big fan of these types of boards because they tend to move and sometimes they don't line up properly, you know what I mean? But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So this game takes place over a number of phases, right? You're going to select your move cards, you'll move your chariots, and you'll collect any rewards that you get. You'll check for the end of lap or the end of game if you're coming to the end of how many laps you've decided to play, and then you'll set up for the next turn, because otherwise you're not going to be playing the fucking game, are you? So the rule book says that Charioteer is a game about moving forward. I've never seen a chariot move back in my entire life, but then again, I've never seen a chariot move forwards either, apart from in Ben-Hur, and that was made up. Moves in this game are made by playing matching sets of cards. So you're going to look at your hand and you'll see that there are different coloured symbols with numbers on, right? So if you played, say, 5 red cards with the number 5 on it, then you will be able to move number of red symbols that you played plus the number that the symbols share, yeah? So you play 6 red symbols with a 5 in it, that means you get to move 11, right? You can also add any tokens that you got to your move, right? You'll place these face down on the stack of cards that you play, because everyone's going to be playing these simultaneously and then revealing them in a like 7 wonders ecstasy moment. These will affect your movement and might give you other special abilities as well, depending on what you play. We'll get to that in a little bit, right? So there are other factors involved as to how far you can move forward, not backwards, yeah? Each charioteer's got a certain skill level depending on which cards are played. You'll see that each player's got a little sort of player mat. You'll be moving these sort of hex cylinders up these skill tracks to improve like cornering or damage mitigation or stuff like that. I mean, if you've got any damage, then that's going to hinder your movement as well, yes? You've got to be very careful that you don't get any of those fuckers with the blades on the sides of their wheels, you know what I mean? Once you have calculated your movement, and you'll move your chariot forward, not backwards. For each point of movement, the chariot's going to move forward 1 space. You'll see that the curved sections on the end of each straight, there'll be some darker areas, yeah, and these are just sort of an extra set of outer spaces you've got to pass through if you end up going into them, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you move into a space with another chariot, doesn't really mean anything because chariots can share spaces. It just means that the chariot that's on the inside is further ahead than the chariot that's on the outside. You can also bring your chariot to a stand, and this is a way of calming your horse, right? This will remove all of the damage from your chariot. Don't know, maybe you got like sort of a pit stop crew that are going to run out like in Formula 1, and after every move you're going to gain some nice tasty rewards, right? These are going to take the form of skills, or if you manage to pleasure enough people, then you will be able to suck up a few fan tokens, right? So each player is going to have 4 skills on their player board after making a move to increase the skill matching the colour that you played, right? So the different colours mean this. Green means sprint, so you're going to add this to your movement. Red is an attack, yeah? If you play these cards, you're going to be able to damage rival chariots, yeah? All other players are affected by this, even if they're miles away from you, because maybe like you stink a BO or something. Maybe your horses took a dump in their path or something like that. Everyone's going to take a damage token and put it on their player mat. Yellow is recovery. You're going to be able to remove damage tokens if you play recovery cards, yeah? And black is for cornering. This means you can travel more quickly around around, yeah, the corners of the track. So at the beginning of the game, there's also going to be a crowd card that's going to be played into the crowd card slot. This is what the crowd want to see. They want to see you take those corners. They want to see you smash up other chariots. They want to see you swing your dick about like Charlton fucking Eston, you know what I mean? Every turn the Emperor is going to make a request, yeah, because he's got this raging hard on and he just can't get rid of it. So you're going to have to roll the Emperor die to see what he wants, right? He might let you move up the skill track, or you might roll the disrupt symbol, in which case he's going to try and damage all players because he's an evil bastard. So you might see some other icons on the cards that might have different effects. So for instance, fan tokens might give you like +1 skill, or they might give you some extra movement. They might shield you from attacks and all that sort of stuff. Yes, it's quite handy to get these tokens, and also these icons appear on your player card. So if you play a card with that icon, you can use that special ability, right? So yeah, you will keep doing this until one of the chariots passes the finish line after completing 3 laps. This will trigger the end of the game. Everyone will have the same number of turns, and then if only one player's crossed the finish line, they will be the winner. But if there's a tie, it's the player who moved furthest along the finish line. And if multiple players finish on the same space, and guess what? It's the player that's closest to the inside of the track that will be the winner of Charioteer. Do we like that Charioteer? So the first thing that we quite like about this is that the game is actually quite exciting and fast paced, yeah? It's not as streamlined as similar games like Ave Caesar, and it's not as complicated as, say, Chariots of Rome, I think it's called, you know what I mean? That old 80s game that was one of the first chariot racing games that you could get, I think. So yeah, it sort of sits in the middle of those two. It occupies a happy medium. It gives you a little bit more strategy than Ave Caesar, but it's not mind-boggling like Chariots of Rome, yeah? And the fact you're just playing cards, adding up stuff, I know it can be a little bit mathy. I don't really like adding shit up and then trying to think, oh, did I get that right? And then once you've done that, you add some tokens and stuff. But once you get the hang of it, turns do move pretty quick, and it is quite a satisfying experience chucking these cards down and bombing like 20 spaces ahead of everybody else and watching their faces go, for fuck's sake, how are we going to recover from that, eh? So the second thing that we quite like about this is that rewards add a much needed interesting element to what would otherwise be quite a bland game, yeah? The fact that you can whip up the crowd to spur you on, or maybe just focus on building up your skills so you can move faster, or maybe attack players a little bit more efficiently, or maybe if other players are doing that, you can recover quicker. So that nullifies their skill set, yeah? Chariot game with a little bit of progression is really, really welcome. And if it was just a case of playing cards and going around a track with no real sort of curves or choke points, then I probably would have thrown this into the dumpster. So the third thing that we quite like about this is the grandiose nature of the game, yeah? I mean, the board is absolutely fucking enormous. I mean, if you sellotape this together, I'm sure you could take this to fucking Maui and rival Patrick Swayze in the final scene of Point Break, you know what I mean?
I'm ready.
It's absolutely fucking huge, you know what I mean? And even the wooden chariots are really, really nice. The card stock is really good. It's got GMT written all over it, yeah? So yeah, we're really happy with the way that the game has been produced. Component quality is really, really good, and it works really well. Don't we like about Charioteer? So the first thing that we don't really like about this game, and this is in stark contrast to the final positive point that we made in the last segment, is that the game looks fucking bland, yeah? The colours are all muted, it's brown, the crowd doesn't look particularly great, and it's in stark contrast to the component quality, yeah? You've got these fantastic components with a huge board, and it looks like complete and utter dog shit, yeah? So that is a complete mismatch. Very, very disappointing that they didn't put more effort into the aesthetics and artwork in the game, yeah? Even the cards are really bland, and it's very disappointing indeed. So the second thing that we don't like, and it's not the fact we don't really like it, it's just something that I don't really understand, is that this is a huge grandiose production, but the game itself is actually pretty basic. You're just going to be playing cards, moving forward, adding a few modifiers, moving the chariot forward, rinse, wash, repeat, yeah? And that's not a bad thing. Like I said, it's not the fact we don't like it, it's just that it doesn't really sit well with me when you've got GMT, like famed for games like Twilight Struggle or any of the Coin series. They have these big, massive productions, complex games, and this looks like one of them, but really when you open the box and peel back all the layers, it basically is a roll and move game with cards, yeah? So the final thing that we don't really like about this game is that it is absolutely extortionately expensive, yeah? I mean, let's have a look, see how much it costs these days. 85 fucking quid, yeah? Would you pay 85 quid for this? I know I didn't. I got it in a bargain bin for 29 quid, which seemed like a bit of a bargain. Yeah, that seemed worth it. I've got no problem with paying that sort of money for this sort of game. 85 quid for a basic chariot roll and move style game is just batshit, yeah? No one's going to pay that, and they wonder why this game has been heavily discounted in a lot of retailers, yeah? Talk about shooting yourself in the fucking foot, you know what I mean? But to summarise, is Charioteer worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we are going to say no. Charioteer is an excellent racing game that offers both a fresh take on the genre, but also offers very little innovation. The epic nature of the theme is lost in some of the most uninspiring visuals we have seen, well, ever. Add to this the fact that Charioteer is eye-wateringly expensive, and it's hard to recommend ahead of tried and tested cheaper games such as Ave Caesar. That's not to say that Charioteer is a poor game, yeah, it's not. We really like it. It's fucking awesome. It's slick, it's exciting, it's balanced. It just gets lost in the bread and circus offered by other cheaper, more streamlined chariot games. So there you go, that is Charioteer. Remember, if you are new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you next time.